Hey, happy summer solstice. This is Jennifer Clark for Ottawa Buzz TV. Hope you're getting your sun buzz today, the solar eclipse. August 21st is bringing so many people so much creativity, inspired action, and empowered hearts. I'm so very happy to be interviewing a very empowered heart of our community, Shannon, who is the founder of Willow Sound Music, and she is the music medium. She is a recognized singer-songwriter from Nashville living in our community, and a musical medium who offers healing messages through intuitive connections to spirit. Welcome, Shannon. How are you, girl?
I'm very good. How are you?
Excellent. So we're talking today because we're talking about the Healing Through Grief event on Saturday, September 16th in Ottawa. And you and I met fairly recently, but old friends from the past, birds of a feather flock together. You're going to be joining us on stage on Saturday at the RA Center, offering messages of spirit and inspired thoughts to people who perhaps have lost loved ones or need a bit of a push off the cliff to fly. Tell us about how that coming out of the closet, you're a recognized business person, you're a recognized artist, and now you're getting to be a recognized medium.
Yeah, coming out of the closet is a great term for it. I think it's one of the first things I said to you when we met was how apprehensive I was feeling about attaching this kind of terminology to me. I mean, most people in my life that know me have known me as being fairly intuitive. The work I do with artists, I work with artists often one-on-one and do consultation and help them with their development. And that empathic skill and intuitive skill comes into play there. But I've just never really attached the language of psychic medium to anything I've done. And in the business world, it comes in handy to know how to read a room when you can feel, where people are coming from and stuff. And but again, I never really said it out loud. So meeting you was not a chance encounter. I think I really believe that there's perfect and divine timing in all things. And I had been wrestling with this for a long time and going to classes with another well-known psychic medium in town, Laura. And I would kind of hide in the back of her room and I felt this stirring and this pull towards this, but my brain was going, no, don't do it. People are going to think you're crazy. And so it was a long process. But yeah, when I met you and I saw you at the John Holland event, I can't describe it any other way than I was just meant to come see you.
Wonderful. Yeah. So to tell people, I was on stage at John Holland and Tara was being read by John Holland from the audience. And of course, everyone's looking at you, Tara, because you're getting the big read, from this fantastic man, such validation and evidence. And then, we connected and we bonded from there on. When I had you at my meditation night just recently, two months ago, I think, you and I felt that there's a lot of inspired action, empowered hearts. This is a terminology from my angel healing community. People really, want information. They want to shift. They want to let go. They want to heal. Maybe don't know how to do it. So part of, you and I know what's going to happen on Saturday, September 16th at the Healing Through Grief event is these tangible, out-of-body experiences, out of the mind, transformational healings, right? Experiences. You are going to add that lens, that spiritual lens to it. What is your hope? Again, you're used to singing on stage, you're used to performing. In that sense, for the music medium, how do you want to inspire people who come, many are coming to the Healing Through Grief event because they have had a recent loss or a loss of a loved one, and having me being an active griever myself and living through it. Here's where you and I really want to focus is you have to live through it. You can't just wait to get over grief because, it's a process, or it can be a process, especially, depending on how close the person was to your life. What do you want to do on stage? I know you're really passionate about empowering people as well.
Yeah, it's kind of an odd thing going into this kind of arena because Normally when I would give in my other type of work, I give workshops or lectures, you have your agenda and you follow your thing. But when you're working with spirit, there is that element of, you know, just being a conduit. So so it's kind of like it really is a blind faith thing. You're just showing up, and you're just, my heart is committed to being open and to being conduit for whatever everybody in the room needs, which is a bit of a battle for me because I'm a very logical, practical, I need an agenda and I need to go through everything. But I can tell you where my heart will be, you know, connected with grief. And the thing about grief for me is that I haven't lost anybody significant like the way you have, for example, Jen. You know, I've lost people in my life, but I haven't had that loss of the degree of that. However, I do think we experience loss in all kinds of ways, not just people we love crossing over. You know, I definitely have experienced loss and grief in other things. And really part of grief is letting go. And it really is letting go. And like you said, it's an active thing. You don't just wait on your couch and, you know, watch Netflix until it's over. You know, if only it were that simple. But you, like everything in the universe, like everything about this journey, you're co-creating, you're co-experiencing. It's a partnership. And, you know, recognizing our attachments is a key to letting go. You know, and when it's a significant other who's left, you know, the attachment is, you know, having them in your life, their physical surrounding, you know, it's the stuff they give to you, the relationship. You know, other things that we let go of can have the same sort of pattern needed.
Yeah, and I'm glad you're raising that, because, I mean, while this event was birthed from my end because of me losing my sister back in January, as a coach, I work with people who have had bankruptcy issues, you know, financial issues, relationship issues. They've lost their house. They've lost their breast to breast cancer. They've lost their identity because of ageism, or what the kids have left the nest. They, you know, they've had some kind of betrayal at work. There's some kind of shame or blame. And I'm glad you're raising that, because again, the people we do have on stage are, you know, bankruptcy experts helping you shift financial loss, relationship and divorce experts helping you shift relationships, grief experts, and you, of course, helping us connect to spirit and understanding, really it's the unanswerable question. So Caroline Meese, a very famous world teacher, talks about the why as an unanswerable question. Yeah, exactly. And someone who, like, I'm grieving, and why did it have to go down this way? Why did, why did she have to suffer so much? Why did he do that? And why didn't he do that? And you can't answer that. Here's what I've learned, and it just kicked in July, 7 months after my sister's passing. I'll never get that answer here. I'll never get that answer in this realm. I'll have to wait my, my time to experience whatever it is that happens to us. And my job is to live here. I am here. I am still here in a body. I have a child. I have a partner. I have a business. I have whatever. My life. I have a life. And so a lot of the work we're going to be doing with the participants is getting back to life. Do you feel that when people come to you, right now, it is mainly, grief or deceased loved ones, but you answer all kinds of questions as a psychic medium. Do you feel people aren't feeling connected, or I know I found you don't really understand me? Like, again, until you've lost, for me, a significant other, you'll really never know. And I never, I always have my healer friends online posting to people who have lost a child and being kind of like asinine, I'll be honest. They really don't understand. It's not as easy as you think. And especially a child one. So how do you approach it when you're, you are the receptacle, you are taking in people at a vulnerable place and holding space for them? Yeah, it's a great question. I think we're all at a loss really there's two parts to this. There's me, the human being, then there's me doing the spiritual work. So me, the human being, I struggle the same way. You're saying people trying to say nice things, or we don't know what to say. I think in one of your posts, you said something brilliant, because you said, it's like, I don't know how, we say, oh, I know how you feel if we lost. Well, there's no truth in that statement, because nobody can know. But entering into each other's suffering is what we're actually, that's where we need to go. Entering into and saying, not trying to fix it,
not trying to make it better, not trying to band-aid it, but just be able to say, I'm here. You know, it's like an acknowledgement that you're suffering, and that I'm here. And it's that there was one example you gave. I don't know if it was you or the link you led us to, but somebody just said, I'll be downstairs in the cafeteria for an hour if you want a hug. Remember that? Yeah. And it's that. But we are, the extent of our ability to do that is reflective of our own comfort with feeling emotion. So if we, you know, if we are uncomfortable with feeling that we can't, if we need to fix it because we just don't want to feel it, you know, then we will behave out of that. So the more comfortable we are with being beside somebody when they're suffering, which is incredibly difficult to do, but it really is, again, that's a process of letting go, because it's not about you. Right. It's not about you. It is entirely about the person who's suffering.
Yes.
So even though you're trying to make it better, really all that is coming from you, because you want to feel better and you want to feel less uncomfortable and you want to fix it.
Yes. Well, you want to do something. You want to help, right? You as the observer would like to help. Speaking of suffering, while I think we're gathering under that umbrella, for me as one of the co-hosts, and I'm happy to report, by the way, for those who are going to tune into this, that Pierrette Raymond and Women Living Fully are going to be one of the co-hosts of the event. So I'm so excited to really share the leadership facilitation space with Pierrette Raymond, who is a grief expert, has a wonderful group, Women Living Fully. They have a wonderful engaged community there. As transformational coaches, both Pierrette and I have to shift people. So while we're coming under the umbrella of we've all had something happen to us, commonality, we cannot stay there, right? We need to, if it's 1 inch, if it's just taking a shower in the morning, if it's just walking to the mailbox, if it's, you know, saying hello to someone, or feeling a moment of joy. And again, joy without guilt. Can you talk about that? I have told people this many times. As many readings, I've done over 8,000 readings in 20 years. I've never met a deceased person that actually cares that much about the physical world. So how they died, irrelevant. Who took their money, their watch, you know, their farm, somewhat irrelevant. Because they're transcendent. They're in a altered state. They do not attach. In my sister's case, her personality changed. You know, in life, she would have been judgmental. She would have been kind and loving, but critical. She's like, you know, no worries. Like it's done. That phase is over. Forgive, let go, move on. And that is the message I've heard from everybody, no matter how violent or tragic or wrong, you know, even murders, no matter how wrong the death was. So can you speak to that? Because again, I'm sure you're seeing and hearing the same thing when you know, talk to these loved ones on the other side.
Yeah, exactly. There is no sense of attachment or anything. But ironically, to your point, sometimes it can make it hard to make the connection of the deceased loved one to the person, because the person still on this side has experienced said loved one in a certain way.
Yes.
And if they've let go of that, and on the other side, they are a different way. And I'm like, oh, this person's really like, you know, happy-go-lucky, whatever it is. And the person that's in my office is like, I don't recognize that person.
Yes.
You know, and eventually you find something to validate it. You know, you're on the wrong, on the right path. But yes, they do. There is a sense. No, I've never ever. I did have one experience, but not related to attachment, but one experience where the loved one who'd come through on the other side had put themselves in a I'm going to use the word purgatory, but I don't mean it in a religious
way. A state.
Had put like a self-imposed sentence on themselves because they felt so awful about something that had transpired here in this lifetime, and it was like a penance. Yeah, they were putting a penance on themselves, and I could feel that, but it wasn't connected to anything that happened. Like, they were still mad at somebody on this side. It was because they, through their life review on the other side, hadn't been able to forgive themselves or let go or move on.
I totally agree. Anytime so in cosmology, in the mystery school or spiritual, some of the aspects of what happens when we die, you know, the light, the tunnel, the loved ones show up, or someone you need to meet. shows up. I encourage people to watch the movie The 5 People You Meet in Heaven with Jon Voight, one of the best movies out there. And then at some point you have to do your life review. You look at what you could have done, you know, what you did do, and then you have to kind of balance the checkbook, you know, and in that balancing, some people really go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that, said that, or thought that. So that's why in a lot of religions, we pray for the dead. We light candles, we do ceremonies to help them forgive, you know, themselves. And one of the very interesting things, Tara, as you know, in our upcoming event, Healing Through Grief, Saturday, September 16th in Ottawa at the RA Center, is we're actually having a wonderful woman going to be doing a ceremony. She was trained in Hawaii by the kahunas, the Hawaiian elders and shaman medicine people. It's called the Ho'onopono, which we've heard a lot on the internet, but she's actually trained in Hawaii. So she's going to do an energetic forgiveness ceremony for the people who are participating individually, but also for all the loved ones and all the conditions and the situations that have bound us and limited us. So it's going to be a hugely empowering experience. And that's why we're super excited, Pierrette and I, to be offering, you know, people like you and Sheila and Oksana and Diane and Anne and all the people on stage, holding space for people to really shift. And do you see people who are grieving? Again, mostly your grief is tangible, human, you know, a body deceased. Do they feel guilty to be happy? Do you get that? That they feel, if I need to forget and remember and honor the dead?
Yes, I have seen that, and I can certainly connect with that. You know, with you know, friends that I've seen go through major losses. It's like you giving yourself permission to feel happy again, and somehow that's connected to a betrayal.
Yeah.
But when you work with the other side, you see they're not sitting around waiting for you to suffer and punish yourself because they're gone. Like it would be completely counterproductive to the whole system if that's what the point was.
But that is my point. And again, the event, it's about getting back to life. Life is forward thinking.
Yes.
It is evolving, growing. And there is no point to this universe if those who love us die and there's nothing left for you. I remember telling an older client, she had lost her soulmate husband. She was an elderly person. And he kept saying, honey, you know, love again. And she's like 75. And she's like, honey, like, we had a great run. And he's like, yes, but you have so much love and vitality and energy left. Like, you still have a lot of years left. Why are you going to be alone? So I'm telling this woman this, and she's laughing at me. She's like, Jennifer, I'm an old woman. I live in an old age home. Where am I going to meet men? You know, blah, blah, blah. And I said, look, this is a message from your husband who loves you. Yeah. You can be like Liz Taylor, have more than one husband waiting for you. You know, you're there because love does not have specific boundaries on the other side. So don't you know, she heard what I said. She thought it was funny and a little crazy, and that's okay. About 6 months later, her daughter sends me an email with a picture of her at her wedding.
Wow.
She married, so she has an independent living, a senior's home. She married the man down the hall. They live in separate residences. Like, she has her home base, he has his. All their children are grown. You know, their wills are separate. Their money's separate. Like, they living, you know, but they hold hands. They square dance. They play bridge together. They spend holidays together. And the daughter said, my mom would have never done this had, you know, you or my dad through you told her. So I really get that life is meant to be lived. And I know personally how hard that can be when you're grieving so much, right?
Absolutely.
Do you have any insights for you, or can you share any insights for people who are listening? What tools do you recommend to help shift grief? Like, what has worked for you, or what have you seen work for others, or has spirit ever come through you with some suggestions?
Yes. And for me, see, emotions are energy, and you have that energy has to go somewhere. So it will be stored in your soft tissue in your body. It will come out as tears or anger or physical, but it's energy. So it has to go somewhere. So that was really helpful for me, is to recognize and to honor the fact that it is something. It's actually tangible, and that then you can focus it and move it. If it's energy, we can move it. So that was helpful to me. Routine helps. Like having something, you know, that you commit to every day, that's very, depending on where you're at in your cycle of grief, because it changes, you know, but stick to something, and you just pick the one thing that you think you can manage, and you stick to it, and you push through for that one day. You try to climb the mountain one day. Meditation to me is for me, meditation's everything. But sometimes I've seen and experienced people that are just in so much pain that sitting in it, when they haven't been able to let it go yet, or finding that place is very uncomfortable and not good, not, you know, healthy at that point. But eventually put that on the list. And you know, for me, I've been very fortunate. My friendship with Jesus has been everything to me, and so that's the first place I go. You know, he's been so present to me. Those are the arms I go sit in, really, and just and let myself cry. I'm not a big crier. I don't like crying at all, actually. I have a problem with vulnerability, or I did have a problem with that until I figured out that that's how all human connection, actually authentic human connection, you know, relies on vulnerability. So for me, Jesus has been a huge, has been everything for me.
Now, can we just clarify? Can I just insert here? I believe because I know you, that is your personal belief system. And you're just saying it. My spiritual faith has taken me, you know, to other states. We welcome all people, all faiths, you know, all philosophies, right? We're not, this is not this is not a come to Jesus moment, but yours is.
I say it's such a funny thing, because I can't even qualify myself as a Christian. I don't, you know, I don't go to, it's such an interesting piece for me and my journey, because I used to not say it out loud, because I didn't exactly that. I wanted to make sure that it was inclusive and everything. So when I say Jesus, the Jesus I know is a personal person that I see just like you. It's the spirit guide.
A spirit guide,
the spirit, that's how my faith in this whole thing started. And it's also, you know, the reason why I chose to leave the formal church. But there's really wonderful things that all religion and those institutions really give us: a sense of community, a sense of belonging, and they are integral parts of our growth. And actually, in the time of grieving, a community like that, some kind of faith type of community, can be such an important part of the healing process.
I know for me, faith for sure has gotten me through it. And again, we're not personally or professionally saying that has to be your way to the listener or the participant, because I've got clients from atheist to agnostic to, you know, Wicca to whatever, Jewish, all of it, all are welcome, because we're in the human story. We're all experiencing an evolution, and heaven is a big place. All are welcome. So I appreciate that honesty, that vulnerability. I know for you that's hard to come out of the closet and say, because of, you know, your status in the music industry and the business community. And I applaud you. And that's pretty much why I asked you to stand on stage with me, because that's me too. Like, this works for me. Find your way, hug a tree, go to church, go for a swim, walk the dog, you know, like, plant your garden, whatever your Zen is, find it, you know, because it also helps ground you and connect you to the soft whispers from spirit, you know, the gentle touches, the caresses that you really can experience when you're in deep grief.
And I was just and that's one of the unfortunate messages that sort of formalized religion, and it's not just religions, it's anything. It's your political party, it's anything that signals us and them. Anything that signals a separation, that separates us, you know, my experience isn't the universe, right? Like, it's all inclusive, which is super important, because again, you know, we judge all the time. We'll be like, oh, she's not really grieving, or that's not what grief is like. Like, we cannot know. Nobody can know what's going on inside somebody's heart, how they're moving through grief. You know, we don't know. So, you know, It's such a, but it's unfortunate some of that conditioning in our culture comes into our psyche,
Yes.
you know?
Yes. Again, we're going to be addressing, we're going to be addressing a lot of that at the Healing Through Grief event on Saturday, September 16th at the RA Center. Tickets are on sale now on eventbrite.ca, and we're going to, I'm sure, put the link up. We've got to close out now, Miss Tara, because I know you're busy. But let's just do a little sort of focused prayer or intention for the group that has tuned in or will tune in. You want to lead it? You want me to lead it? Why don't you lead it? Make some stuff happen, man.
Okay. Creator of all that is, most highest, divine, universe, love, all that is and all that connects us. We ask that you move anybody that's watching this or anybody that needs to be watching this to inspire them to come to this event. And we ask that you be there with us and you inspire all of us facilitating to help us live our highest purpose and help everyone around us live their highest purpose.
Wonderful. Yeah, love it, love it, love it. And I am getting, I want you to tag team on me, okay? So I'll go first because I'm completely taking Tara off by surprise. So I'm being guided to give a message to a woman named Kim, who I actually know. So let me, it's not like I don't know her. Her son, Kevin, though, is with me right now. And I think, well, Kevin knows she's coming to the event. She's been blogging about her grief story. She's in, parenting groups. She's well known in the community. So her son, Kevin, who passed recently, is with me. See if you can get Kevin, and Kevin, Kim's Kevin. And he's really encouraging, Kim, if you're listening, he's really encouraging you to keep writing, blogging, sharing, and caring and empowering others, elevating others on the road of healing through grief, as she feels guided at her pace. I do feel personally that Kim needs a rest and a break. Other than that, when she's rested and re-energized, I sense her really being able to write a book, have a blog, webinars, like some kind of physical, formative, demonstrative output product for others to sample. And my sense is like my sister is helping me do this. Kevin will be helping Kim do her version and her piece of the pie. Can you get anything, Ms. Tara, on our friend Kevin?
Yeah, as soon as you started talking about Kevin, the picture I saw in my mind right away was like a park, a beautiful park on a Sunday afternoon, frisbee tossing. There's a dog involved catching the frisbee, but it's very, so when you talked about her needing rest or healing,
yeah,
it could be connected to that, but it has a youthful sense about it. Like, I don't know if this was an activity they did together or if like the family is hanging out in the park. There's a beautiful, of course, willow tree with like a river. It's actually it seems like the message I'm getting is it's a significant place. So if there was a place they used to go to together or hang out or where there was peace together, that's what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Encouraged.
And Kevin, and my take, because I knew of Kevin. I never had the pleasure of meeting Kevin. In some ways, his life was a bit challenged or limited for several reasons. And my sense of your message is that he's free. Like there's a freedom in his body and his his reclaimed self, that he's no longer bound by physicality, which again was actually the same message I got from my own sister, because her cancer just decimated her body. And
there's an element of play.
Play with, have more play, maybe mom, or that he's at play. So
where if he didn't have enough on this lifetime, that he's
he's having it now.
Yeah, that he is.
Wonderful. Now. Well, Tara, Shannon, Renaud, thank you so much for spending some time with us. We look forward to seeing you on stage Saturday, September 16th at the Healing Through Grief, a live event at the RA Center. Tickets are on sale now. People can find you. Is it themusicmedium.com?
Yeah, themusicmedium.com.
Wonderful. And again, please join us, in this wonderful tribe of transformation on September 16th. Talk to you soon.